What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be looking at the start of BT-20, which is basically the format we're going to be in shortly, and we'll be completely caught up with them once this happens. So we'll kind of get a overlook of what's starting up. You know, the bad thing about this kind of information is that it is a whatchamacallit. It's a lot of the information gets skewed by events that aren't above 8 players, and they don't post the numbers, so you never know what's consistently topping. But without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So first off, let's take a look. Red, Purple, and Digimon is pulling ahead. We got 6 tops with this dragon, but Royal Knights are getting up to 4. Dukemon's at 3. Sun and Moon's at 2. Friendly Luga is at 2, Beelzemon 1, Xmon at 1. This is Deep Save 1, Red Blue Omega, which is Omnimon, Purple Hybrid, Blue Armors, Red Hybrid. You know, Skarm is, I think, Galaxy, I think. Nope, this is Poop. Poop's doing something. That's surprising. Poop did something. Then we have Mugen. Then we have Yellow Vaccine, Aquatics, and Plant Fairies. All just a small little taste of what they're doing. They haven't had a lot of use of this, but hey, it started on, 131.25, and it's gonna run until they basically get new stuff. So, but taking a look here, we can take a look on, Digicard meta. They'll give us a better look at what the decks are looking like. And I picked up some really good ones for you guys to enjoy because I know a lot of players want to see certain decks, especially starting out. Evo Cup is a big one, so I definitely grabbed the Evo Cup ones. And that is something we should really look at, right? So first off, let's see. The first deck we're going to talk about is none other than the Giga Digimon, which is the X antibody form for Metal Digimon Ace. I know a lot of players want to build decks like this, especially because Metal Digimon has a big fan favorite. So Mega Digimon into Metal Digimon is always a great line. And I think really people, is this the promo? No, they're not even playing the promo in the list. I know a lot of players were very skeptical on if you should be playing the promo or not. And I think if I remember correctly, even the other Giga Digimon list doesn't even play it. Let's see. Oh no, it is playing it as 4 of. But let's just take a look between the promo. I mean, can't be blocked is like a huge thing, A lot of players do enjoy that, but, I think we get draw here. This just gives jamming. This one just gives jamming, but it has rush on default when it's played. I mean, yes, sometimes the rush inheritable might be some benefits, but it's up to you how you want to handle it, right? I'm not going to say you should pick up the promo, but there are lists that don't use the promo and they can probably do well. And I don't want you guys losing out on money because you're dropping big money onto an expensive promo. So, but the fact that, Giga Digimon has, keyword soup, security attack 1, reboot, blocker, and then inheritables like jamming, drawing cards, and then proceeding to even draw more cards, jamming as well. Like, this deck has a lot of keywords that make it a very powerful deck. And then, as long as it has X antibodies, Digivolution, or Metal Digimon, you may play a level 5 or lower Digimon without paying its cost. In all turns, when any of your Digimon are played from Digivolution, de-digivolve 2 of your opponent's Digimon. That's huge. Being able to de-digivolve consistently makes Metal Digimon actually competitively viable because, again, de-digivolution is a very powerful skill and the only way around a lot of protections nowadays, because if you can just get them to get off of it, that protection just disappears, right? So just something to think about even when deck building wise. We have Blue Scramble, Blue Memory Boost, Mental Training, X Antibody, Cool Boys, Yao. This leads to being a very powerful deck in its own right? Now, we did have a Xmon list that topped, so I know a lot of players are wondering, what should I be picking up? It looks like this one is a very commonplace EX03's version, just being able to, get the pieces you want for the reveal, but they're not playing the promos if you noticed. So that's something to think about as well. But they are playing the Wisteria memory boost. You know, they are playing Unleash the Dragon Gene. But they also are playing Owen Dreadnought. So when an opponent's security is removed by suspending the Stamer, one of your opponent's Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon 4000 DP or less. It can lead to being some great value, but a lot of this is strictly just from the new set, so you don't have to go crazy buying old cards, and I like that for a lot of players. This just guarantees that you don't have to spend a lot of money. But I like that Examon Ace exists, because again, what makes Examon Ace a little bit better than most decks, and I'm going to be straight honest with you, is that, again, one stack can easily become Examon Ace very comfortably. And what do I mean by that is that you have, you know, 4, 8, 12, 16 targets that'll be guaranteed to make Examon Ace. So that's something to think about, especially when blast acing. If they don't remove the threat, you know, you're most likely getting to Examon Ace. And then this thing has raid, piercing, block, or evade, making it an even more scary threat to deal with. And, you know, this thing returning all your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP to the bottom deck, and then when any Digimon suspends, this Digimon may unsuspend, is huge. You know, Examon Ace is nothing to scoff at, especially because of its inheritables. You know, deletes one of your opponent's Digimon in battle, delete one of their suspended Digimon or Tamers. You know, this one just says, by suspending this Digimon, this doesn't leave. You know, protections outside of evade is always great. And I think there's just some great value to be had with Examon that a lot of players are going to enjoy long term. And like I said, big vegetable, you know, keyword soup here that just makes it a very strong Digimon. Now, we do have Galaxy doing Red Galaxy shenanigans. They are teching in Invisimon. That just, wow, they really just gave us a tiny version of this thing. So Invisimon is just basically end of opponent's turn, play this Digimon with, you know, from your security stack without paying its cost, and then on play, when Digivolve, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. It's just a great tech card, and I think, again, Galaxy Engine is just really cool. I don't know why we're playing Homer, but I kind of see what they're trying to do. But they aren't playing, they're playing 2 Mirage, so I can see what they're trying to do a little bit. But we'll have to see. I don't think Homer's just that end-all be-all card you should be playing. You know, and gets to play a 3 costs from your sources. I mean, yeah, it kind of just helps with the Hankumon, right? Or building another stack. But at the end of the day, we are playing the, you know, Galamon X antibody. We have Dinomon, just stuff that just makes your opponent have a heck of a time to deal with, right? The deck is very powerful and really strong, and allows players to kind of just adapt and weave where they want to. It's never wrong to play the deck how you like. So I definitely think this deck has a lot of potential, and it's just going to be one of those rogue decks that just constantly show up. Now, we do have the Royal Knights deck. So Royal Knights got some new support in, first off, a rare card in the Omeki that's just giving a blocker, but being able to Digivolve on your opponent's turn into, you know, our good friend Omnimon X Antibody. So being able to create this path where your opponent has to answer and deal with is always scary. I love the Medieval Gallantmon because Medieval Gallantmon gets to stay on the board, especially because Medieval Gallantmon by itself is just a good threat, right? You know, being able to suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon and being able to reduce the place cost, you know, and then answer a threat. Leaves your opponent having a bad time trying to deal with your, you know, Royal Knights. And especially when you have like Jessamon as well, that gets to play a token that's going to be able to stay on board as well. I think there's a lot to be said with, you know, playing these new style of cards into the old, you know, King Drazel deck. And I think a lot of players have been waiting to get an upgrade like this for a bit. You know, even just having the Oryukin Ace, that's just really powerful, just because, you know, on play, you are going to one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 15,000 until the end of their turn. Answers a lot of protection skills that really can be a problem. But, you know, we also have, you know, BT-20. It has barrier, but, you know, on play recovery 1, which, again, we're just making your opponent have some bad days. I think we have a lot of possibilities going into the future with this, and I'm really excited to see where we go. You know, Cool Boy is a really good super for the deck, and, you know, you have the Last Guardian, that just helps search out for key pieces, and it just all leads to being very powerful skills across the board, and it's just another way of playing the game. I think a lot of players have been itching to dust off their Royal Knight deck, and you know what, this is the deck. It's time to shine. Now let's take a look here. The red Imperial Digimon, I know players have been waiting for this for a little bit to kind of just get good, and I know this is what's gonna, if you were a true diehard, you already had the Digimon promos, right? If you weren't, and you're just trying to jump on because you think it's the best deck in the format, this is going to be your problem child. You are going to be spending way too much money on a card, and you're going to have to wait for event packs to kind of just alleviate that, and you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer just to play the deck. I don't think it's a good investment long-term for the Digimon to buy in now, unless you are really thinking you're going to be a diehard for this deck. But again, the combination with Imperial Digimon Dragon Mode here from EX03 is really what sweetens the deal, right? Destroy all your opponent's other Digimon, then the chosen Digimon, you get to choose one, and then you get to blitz. And then basically when attacking, it gets plus 2000 DP, and then you may Digivolve into one Imperial Digimon fighter mode. So which you're going to go right into this fighter mode, so that you basically gain the piercing and the raid targeting, which is kind of cool. So your opponent can't play Digimon or Tamer by effects until the end of turn. And this will make sure that your, big boy fighter mode here is just big enough to deal with something, right? So there's a lot of possibilities with the deck's ability to play. And, this one just says options don't activate. This one's a security +1. He has innate piercing, so you don't have to worry about the old inheritable. Dino Beamon just creates early aggression that can lead to comboing very nicely. All turns when any of your Digimon or Dino B would be deleted, 2 of your Digimon may Digivolve into Dragon Mode in your hand. This one's also, return to deck or bottom. So if you're facing against certain matchups that are going to bounce, you can just blast DNA into Dragon Mode, or even get into Dragon Mode Ace. It depends on the situation, right? This one being able to delete, 11,000 DP or less. If DNA, this Digimon may Digivolve into an Imperial Digimon fighter mode in hand or trash without paying its cost. This one's very situational because the 11 DP is very much a unique threshold. I wish that it had more DP, targeting leveling that would make it a little bit better, but we're just going to go for straight power boost, and then we're just going to go retal, just so if they do answer it, they're most likely dying. But I think this has a lot of great power, especially with the battle NPC. It is a member setter, but place 1 level 3 Digimon from your hand under this tamer, draw a card. If you don't have a Digimon, you may play 1 3-cost or lower Digimon card from under this tamer without paying its cost. Delete this tamer. So it's just a very unique tamer that lets you help get your on plays a little bit more consistently, and especially because it's the start of your main phase. As long if they've cleared your board, and you can just Jogress and do some crazy shenanigans afterwards, because a lot of your guys get played from trash anyway, so you'll just climb up, is really good. I think this has a lot of potential just because this is a backup plan that easily can snowball you to being able to Jogress, right? So stuff like this does come up from time to time, and I think we definitely are going to see Red Imperial Digimon stick around for a bit, and a lot of players are excited for it. But guys, what do you think of some of the decks that are coming into existence right now? Are you guys excited for something like this? Are you guys going to be testing the water in BT-20? Well, or are we going to see a lot of players on Talmon loop, which again, I think this deck kind of just answers a little bit of the loop prior to doing anything if they swing early. But building a wide board and then just being able to force them down to 1 is going to be scary for them to deal with, right? So, I think Imperial Digimon Dragon Mode is going to be here for a while. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.